So Habitat for Humanity, the mission is something it drives me every day, housing does. And so I love being able to make homeownership a reality for our families that we're working with.
Welcome everybody to this episode. Is it the eighth episode? Eighth episode of Sharpen the Saw with the Wise Agent Society. Today here we have Miss Leslie, with Habitat for Humanity in Cedar Rapids area. In the Cedar Rapids area, we're going to be talking about how the Habitat for Humanity works in general. We're going to talk about ways that people can participate in with the Habitat for Humanity, realtors and possibly non-realtors and just people in general. And that's what we have going on. Miss Leslie, thank you so much for joining us today. If you could maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with Habitat, and we can go from there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Shay. So my name is Leslie Neugebauer. I am Development Director for Cedar Valley Habitat for Humanity. I've been with the organization, though, going on 8 years now in a variety of roles. So I actually started as a construction AmeriCorps, did that for a few years, and then transitioned into a construction manager position. And then most recently, over the past couple of years, have transitioned into this development role. So Habitat for Humanity, the mission is something that's it drives me every day, housing does. And so I love being able to make homeownership a reality for our families that we're working with, and for the partners, and through our repairs program as well.
Very cool. I love it. So tell me just a little bit more about what the development position is and what you do for that.
Yeah, so the development position for our Habitat for Humanity is in charge of fundraising, primarily for the organization. And so what that includes is both events, it includes grants, it includes corporate donations in our area, as well as individual donations in the area too. And then I also oversee our communications manager as well.
Very cool. So in a way, it's kind of like marketing in a lot of ways.
Yes,
and
it is.
Sales.
Yeah, sharing the word about our organization and the wonderful work that we're doing to inspire people to want to participate with us.
Yeah, very cool. Well, you're a great person to do so. I've met you, we've hung out, and I think that you do a bang-up job so far. And as I participate more, since I'm new to the scene here, I'm looking forward to getting to know you better and helping in any way that I can.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Good deal. So, I guess I can tell you a little bit how Leslie and I met was at a bags tournament that was a fundraiser at Sagwagon here in Cedar Rapids, a really cool little place by the river, and music, bags, paddle sales or whatever you call that.
Yeah, our paddle raffle.
Paddle raffle, and then a regular raffle. And of course, then the buy-in for the tournament. Super fun situation. My son came and helped out, my son Hunter, and we had a great time at that. And I think did pretty good job raising money. Everybody did that day. So that was cool, huh? Yeah,
that is one of our 3 primary events, Bags for Build. And it was actually our 10th anniversary to host that tournament. So that was fun. Oh. And we raised just over $10,000 through that tournament. So it was keeps increasing every year, which is great to see. Regulars come out every year to participate in the tournament, as well as new teams coming out too. So it's just a really fun event to share the word about Habitat. And who doesn't love to play bags on a nice summer day?
Right. And then there was lots of beer drinking or other ice cold drink drinking. So it was a cool day for that. And the cool thing that I didn't realize, I had never been to Sagwagon before, was there's a lot of bicyclists that come in there, which is just a little off topic, but Cedar Rapids, especially during the summertime, is a very, very bicycle enthusiastic place to be, right?
Yes, we are a bike-friendly community, I would say. That was actually one thing. I'm not originally from Iowa. I am from Oklahoma originally. And so when we moved up here in 2015, that was one we jumped on that really quick. We love biking around the area.
Oh, cool. And more onto that is that I believe that bike trail starts in Solon.
I believe so. I don't know, but I think they have plans to go all the way to Iowa City too.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Mhm.
But it's cool, like when you're going to Solon and through Ely and all that stuff, the bike path is right along the highway. And then I know that it goes to Waterloo.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a good bike path.
It is a good bike path. I have not taken that trip. My husband has biked to Waterloo and I went and picked him up. I'm,
Uh,
I'm a good 20-30 mile bike ride individual and much more. I'm no good.
right, no, makes sense too. But and then another cool thing is where they have those little fix it.
Oh yeah, the Fix
Oops.
It station. Yeah.
Yeah, fix it station where they can do. I don't know. I think there's some tools dangling there, and they can
Yeah.
put their bike up there and change a flat or whatever they need to do.
Yes, they do. They've got all the wrenches that you could ever need to fix your bike.
That's pretty neat, and they have those all over, like along the path at different,
hmm
I don't know, watering holes or whatever you want to call them.
Right. And
I've
rest
seen them.
stops.
Yeah, right. And I feel like Sagwagon sort of specifically, and some of the places I've been to are really geared toward bicyclists and like almost they're like a biker bar, but for a different kind of bike.
Yes. And actually, when we first moved up here, somebody asked if we wanted to go to a biker bar. And we were like, what are you talking about? And they were like, oh, no, it's just like bicycles. You just bike there. And we're like, oh, okay. We had
Like,
no idea what they were talking about.
what about me? Got you thinking I'm ready to go to a biker. Well, that's cool. So anyway, that was just a little segue about the biking community here, which I just thought was really cool. And I also learned at the Habitat Bags tournament. Um, and the cool thing about that too, so people know for next year, is like there's the prizes on this one. Some of the prizes that were given out were an Arctic cooler full of different assorted boozes. And what were some of the other things like with battle raffle?
Yeah, we try to have a variety, especially since we know we have a large biking community. So things that we could easily transport for individuals that might just be biking in. So we had some tickets to Theater Cedar Rapids, which is a local theater company. We had tickets for Colonel's game. There was some merchandise from some of the craft beer vendors around the area that they had donated. We had little kits and things for like kids that might be interested. So there was like a little basketball hoop package. And then we also had a couple of Hawkeye tickets to give away to some of the upcoming games.
Yeah, football games, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Those were big.
They were a big hit.
A lot of interest on those.
Yes. Our paddle volunteers did not have to travel very far into the crowd. People just kind of came to them to buy those paddle chances.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the Hawkeye games. I have season tickets this year for the first time, so I think that's going to be a hoot of a time. And then also we're doing the wrestling season tickets, so that should.
Have you ever been to a Hawkeye football game then?
I have, but not in a long time.
Okay.
I'm from here originally. I've just lived on the West Coast for 20 years, and I remember, vaguely the days of football games because they are intense. And lots of adult beverages.
Yeah.
From when I was in my 20s is when I was going. So I'm hoping it's going to be a little milder nowadays, but we'll see.
I have not been to one, so I can't give you any advice.
Oh man, well, I know they're heavy duty. People start early and they go long.
Yeah.
The first one, by the way, is this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I can make it. My wife's having surgery, so if she's feeling good, maybe I'll go. Just like not the full shebang, not full tilt boogie, but just go to the game and watch it and go home.
Yeah, that'll be a fun time.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. So those were some of the prizes and stuff that were given out at the bags tournament. I was trying to think what else. There's always good food there that you can order and buy drinks and that kind of stuff. And then there was blind auctions too. or no?
No, we just had the paddle raffle, and then we did
Okay.
just the cooler raffle as well.
Okay. I just remember there was tables around in that one area with prize. Were those like potential
Oh,
paddle raffle
yep.
things?
Those were the
Oh,
paddle raffle prizes. You did have the opportunity, if you saw something you really wanted, to buy it outright as well.
oh, okay.
So it wouldn't even go out into the raffle.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good deal. So that one was super fun. About how many hours do you think that I came in? I didn't come for the whole thing. So about how many hours does that last?
Yeah, we start setting up around 9:30, 10. The tournament actually starts at 11. And so we're pretty good about wrapping up around 4. We typically have between 20 to 30 teams every year. And then Stephanie, she makes the bracket for us, and she can run the tournament really streamlined. She's done it quite a few years now. So
Yeah, she's good. I like her.
yeah.
She's on top of her stuff, you can tell.
Right.
So is there a limit on how many teams can play? Do you know?
We have not set a limit before. No.
Okay, and you just need 2 people for a team, right?
Exactly. You just need 2 people.
Sweet. All right, well, that's very cool. So we can talk maybe more about the other, you said there were 3 main events. We could talk about the other events, or maybe before we get into that, can you maybe explain like more generally how Habitat for Humanity works on a national scale, on a local scale? Like what does it do? How does it work? How do you help people?
Yeah. So the mission of Habitat for Humanity is seeking to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, community, and hope. So globally, Habitat for Humanity International just believes in a place where everyone has a decent place to live. And so knowing that we are in 1,000 locations across the U.S., and so that is locally, Cedar Valley Habitat for Humanity is one of those locations. We're considered an affiliate. And then across the globe, we are in 70 countries worldwide serving. So quite a nice global expanse. Locally, like I mentioned, we serve Lynn and Benton counties here. And we were started in 1988. So we're actually just a couple weeks away from celebrating our 35th anniversary.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We have built or rehabilitated over 169 homes so far in the area. And we're at 299 families served right now. We've got one more home dedication coming up in the next couple of weeks versus a repairs project. We don't know which one's going to happen first to make it our 300th family. So
wow, that is amazing. That is just so cool that you're able to help people. And then how many people or divisions or affiliates are there in Iowa, would you say?
Ooh, that is a great question. I do not have the answer off the top of my head. However, you can Google Habitat for Humanity Iowa, and there is what is called a state support office or an affiliate support office. And so at the state level, they help to support our local affiliates. And they have a map of all the counties that are covered and served in Iowa.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sounds good. And then, you said how many nationwide in the nation?
So there are over, over 1,000 locations across the U.S.
Wow, that's a lot. That's very cool.
Each local affiliate kind of has the freedom to operate how they see fit to meet the needs of their community. And so how our Habitat operates is going to be different than maybe how Habitat of the Heartland might operate, a different one in Iowa. So we all kind of have that freedom to really meet the needs of our communities. So, I was going to say, so here locally, our primary program is new home construction. We also have home rehabilitations. And then finally, we have our affordable repairs program. And so in new home construction, we build approximately 4 to 6 homes a year, and that's usually from the ground up. Wow. And then home rehabilitations is typically 1 home a year, and that kind of depends on if there's a project that just makes sense for us. We know that sometimes rehabbing a home isn't as cost effective, so weighing that option out with that home that we might be purchasing. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. And then our
So
affordable
on
repairs
rehab, you would buy
program.
it and then rehab it.
Yes. And so sometimes we've also had some instances like one of our last home rehabilitations. There was a home that was damaged during the derecho. The owner had already had intentions to move prior to the derecho and then just decided to donate it to us. And so we were able to rehabilitate that home. It got a whole new roof system and then all new drywall and interior finishes, but the frame or the shell of the house was still intact. And so we didn't see a need to completely demolish that home.
Okay. Now, in other instances, that's a good question, is how do you identify build sites and then how do you acquire those? And then more also like who does the construction and how does that work?
Yes, so we acquire land in a variety of ways. Like I mentioned, sometimes there might just be an individual donor who might have a property that they're interested in donating. Or we also work with locally the city of Cedar Rapids sometimes to find properties as well. And then we've also bought properties on the fair market or on the open market too, just depending on the location that they're in. So it's really just kind of depends on the project as to how we identify the land.
Sure. And who would be who's involved or whose job is it to acquire land and sites to build?
Yes, so we have a site selection committee, and that is comprised of several individuals in the community, including our construction director and our executive director. And then it's also people that are specialists in their fields. So we'll have a realtor on there, probably a civil engineer, trying to think, somebody in excavation. So once we identify a property that we want to pursue, they'll go back and make sure that it is feasible and makes sense for us to purchase that property and that we could still fit a habitat home on that property and it would financially make sense for everyone.
Okay, cool. And then for like the construction companies, like are there a few that you work with like generally, or is there, and do they donate their time and how does all that work?
Yes. So it kind of depends on the project a little bit, but we do partner largely with volunteer groups in our community to frame the homes, to install the siding, the windows, the doors, a lot of the interior finishes, painting, landscaping. So we'll work with some of our community volunteers to do that aspect of it. But things that are needed by code to be done by somebody that's certified, such as your electrician, your HVAC installer, we will work with different organizations in the community. We typically have a bid process on some of our homes just to make sure it's all fair. So.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so like you'll have a bid process for the people that are going to do that code work and the more advanced stuff.
Yes, and then we do have some businesses in the community that, like you mentioned, will donate their time or donate their materials on some projects. Last year, we started Students Building Community as a partnership with the Greater Cedar Rapids HBA as well. And so we did have several businesses come in and wanted to be a part of that. And so they would donate their time to help teach those students what it takes to build a home, what the different industries and skilled trades are, to try and drum up some interest in those building trades.
Yeah, I think I saw that house. Maybe it was at one of the meetings or something, or I looked it up, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And that was so cool that the kids get to learn how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it was really neat. So last year was our pilot year. We had 6 students in the program. We partnered with Kirkwood Workforce Learning. They helped us to identify the students. So it was an internship, and they came out for 2 hours at a time, twice a week. And so it took a full school year to build the home. But they really got to interact with everyone from concrete to electricians to HVAC. To your flooring installers, siding. Every student identified kind of an industry that they'd like to pursue from that experience. So that was really great. And a handful of them kind of identified a company that they might want to work with.
That's so cool. I mean, what an opportunity. You know, I know there's a huge, tremendous need for skilled labor and the trades and stuff like that. And I was part of some of that stuff when I was not necessarily in high school, some, but then after high school, I did different things like that. And all those things are just so handy to know, even if you don't pursue it forever. To know how it is to build a house and what all the ins and outs are. Now, as a realtor and doing it for so long in multiple states and selling so many houses, I've seen tons and tons and tons of all that.
Right. And that was really nice too, is that when the students interacted with the new trade, we would ask them questions up front about their background and how they got interested into that trade, or what training they needed to take on the front end and how long it might take to help them make a well-rounded decision on what trade they'd like to pursue.
That's cool. So these are all college students, right? If we're talking about Kirkwood Community College, is that right?
So they're high school students. So they were juniors and seniors that had met certain parameters from the school district. But it was through Kirkwood Workforce Learning. So the local community school districts were connected with Kirkwood Workforce Learning, and then they connected them with us, and then we connected with the Greater Cedar Rapids HBA and brought our HBA members in. So it was a big collaboration.
Cool. And then Kirkwood Workforce is not affiliated with Kirkwood Community College?
It is. I don't know if it's part of Kirkwood. Yes.
Okay.
Don't know.
The whole organization.
Yeah.
The greater organization. Okay, cool. And you said something about HVAC?
HVAC. So your heating, ventilation, air conditioning?
Oh, no, not HVAC, but no, you said another word.
HVA?
HVA, yeah. What's HVA?
The Housing and Building Association.
HVA here in Cedar Rapids?
So the Greater Cedar Rapids HB as in boy A.
Oh, HBA. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope, I haven't heard of that yet, but I'm new to the area. I don't know if that's just everywhere or what.
So they are a national organization as well. And they're just a collection of local contractors that kind of come together to do some community good as well. So, yeah. And so we're a part of the HBA as a local contractor in our area.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. So thanks for clarifying that. That's what I was trying to do. I was like, I thought you said VA, but HBA. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Okay. So sounds like there's a lot of good in that. And so you were talking about, so different locations might do things differently. So this is how it's done here in the Cedar Rapids area, Cedar Valley area?
Yep, we're the Cedar Valley.
Cedar Valley. So, I think that's pretty good background. Now, can people, who can participate in this? I know, like, as a realtor, I'm a part of the Habitat for Humanity committee for the realtors, right? Mm-hmm. And is there another committee or something for not realtors that people can participate in?
So internally, we have several committees that help guide decisions. So obviously, we have our board of directors, which is kind of an invitation. And then we also have committees that also really look at each piece of the organization. So for instance, since I'm development director, I have a development communications committee. And so we're looking at what kind of appeals do we want to send out, what type of communications do we want to put out, things like that. And then we also have a family support committee. And so those individuals help our partner families through the process. So if they have questions along the way, if we need to touch base with them about hours, or even after the fact, several of them stay in contact with their family support partners, just in case something comes up that they're unsure about. So it's a great connection for them to have. We also have a construction committee. So they kind of look at how we're building the homes. Are there ways that we can make the home more efficient? Are there ways that we can capitalize on the square footage better? Things like that. And then we have, like I mentioned, our site selection committee. So looking at land that we might be interested in purchasing. We have a finance committee, so making sure our finances are on track as well. So there are several different committees, kind of one for everyone. We have a restore committee as well, looking at shopping trends over in our restore, which is an additional funding mechanism to our organization as well.
So let's say that's a random person is like, I'd really like to get involved in this. What would be the next step for them? And like, is there a capacity, like only so many people can help, or, how does that work?
So it kind of depends on the committee, as we don't want to have too many people on the committee because we want everyone to kind of feel valuable in their role and feel like they're incorporating to that committee. And so it just kind of depends on that committee. I would say reach out to the organization. There is a contact button on our website, which is cvhabitat.org. And so that can just send a blanket question to us, or you can reach out to myself as well, either by phone and just say you're interested in learning more about ways to get involved. And that's always just a great place to start, is a phone call. Even if you're interested in volunteering on the construction site as well, or in our restore, kind of that first step is always a phone call to us. So that way we know you're interested. We can do any type of just logisticals, walking through the process with you. We have a website that you would need to use to sign up and fill out waivers and things like that. And that's also where you can find a list or a schedule of events that we would have, or scheduled opportunities, to volunteer. So a phone call is always the best first step.
Okay, cool. Yeah, or just like you said, do the contact on the website.
Yeah.
And just initiate contact in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. And then the other way, of course, is through realtors. If they're interested, they can contact. The way I did it was I contacted the association, the Cedar Rapids Association of Realtors, and I asked, hey, when I was picking, I said, hey, what are there some committees that are, that I can join, that I can volunteer? I want to volunteer my time and be involved. And then they gave me a list, and I don't remember if she said like Habitat's cool or what, but I don't know why, but I saw some stuff, and I'm like, well, yeah, I want to do that one, And then I don't remember who else I talked to, but I'm like, sounds like a cool one, and then that I think that would be fun and beneficial to people, and to me it was a good fit for me. Getting together, have fun, and also raise money and help people with home ownership. That was another question.
We're extremely grateful for that committee of realtors too. They do so much on the back end of our fundraisers to help pull them off, and it's just a tremendous help to our staff to just not have to worry about some of those logistics.
Yeah, and it's a good group of people. I've only just met a lot of them, and they seem super nice, super involved in the community, and a lot of them long-standing realtors in the area from all different companies. That's the cool thing. So it's and that's why I like being on these committees too, is to get to know the real estate community and build those relationships too. I've been doing that for a long time in Las Vegas, and I wasn't too active in San Diego. I did things a little differently in San Diego, but it is a fun way to network and get to know the people that are doing the business, doing the work there.
Yeah.
And also in volunteering, so that you're getting a different type of person than those that don't volunteer. Right. Not that y'all are bad people if you don't volunteer. I see you're busy. I see you. So very cool. So that's another way that people can be involved. Let's see here. I wrote down some notes. Let's go with, how do you pick families to help, and how do they come about, and what kind of criteria do they meet, and how does all that work?
Yes. So we work with what we call partner families. And so we evaluate our partner families based on need, ability to pay, and willingness to partner. So oftentimes in need, we see overcrowding, we see just unsafe living conditions. And a big one is also paying more than 30% of your income on housing expenses. And so that's a huge issue. And then with the ability to pay, we are making sure that you have a stable income, because many people believe that we just give homes away, and that is not the case. These homeowners do walk away with a mortgage. It is an affordable mortgage for that family. And so we're looking at this debt to income ratio, making sure that they're not paying 30% or more than 30% of their income on expenses. And so because we are the mortgage holders, as needed on case-by-case basis, we can offer a second forgivable mortgage if needed. Currently, we are doing a zero interest mortgage. However, that varies across habitats. So that's just how we're operating. And then that willingness to partner, this is a partnership with our families. So our families are committing to 300 to 400 hours of sweat equity or volunteer work. And that can be with our organization, so either on the build site or in our restore. It can be with other nonprofits. You can have friends and family come and assist you with a certain amount of your hours as well. So really trying to make that obtainable for our families, because most of them have children. They have busy schedules, and then they also are still maintaining their income. So they have a job that they have to maintain as well. And now we're asking you to do this volunteer work on top of that. So really trying to make that attainable for our families in the program.
Sure, and it makes very good sense that they are also helping other people. It's kind of like a pay it forward or pay it sideways. However, they're investing in this cause to help other people, even if it's not their own project, which could be, but it's helping in another way to help people. Another question with that is the second mortgage forgivable. Is that like for down payment and closing costs type stuff?
Not necessarily. I don't deal with that entirely, that whole process. But just after a certain percentage or a certain number of years, it will start to fall off at a certain percentage. So I'm not quite sure. I don't see the calculator of how all of that happens.
Yeah, all good. Just curious. Yeah, so that's just some way to help make it more affordable.
Exactly.
For the folks to get involved. And if somebody wanted to sign up for that, or can they do that, or how does that work? A family that's like, hey, I could really use some help.
So the first step, again, is a phone call. So we have a monthly information session about our homeownership program. And we offer a session at 10 a.m. and at 5:30 p.m. on the second Tuesday of the month. And so you just call ahead of time, get your name on the list. So that way you can come in, and we do have a limit because our boardroom is only so big. So we can only hold a certain number of people for that. However, if that time does not work, we'll also schedule one-on-one sessions with individuals as well. So that way they have the full information about the program and the requirements. And then after that information session, that is when you are handed the application to apply into the program.
Okay, cool. Then you apply.
And it's similar. It's a similar application to going out and purchasing a home on your own, because you're applying for a mortgage. So it is similar.
Yeah, this Habitat holds the mortgage, you said. So they essentially are the lender.
Yes, and then we work with partnerships to service the loans.
Gotcha. Yep, makes sense. Okay, cool. And then
and it has been really cool. So we're celebrating our 35th anniversary, and some of our homeowners, our initial homeowners, are paying off their mortgages now.
Wow. Yeah, it's that time now.
Yes. So we've been seeing that over the past 2 years, and that's just a really nice experience to see that they had this dream, this goal in mind, and it's helped them in their lives and given their kids bigger opportunities. So
wow. That's really cool. It's coming full circle, and then now they have, you know, a way of generational wealth, and you know, real estate is a way that people can have money and then pass that on and whatever. That's a very good tool for a good financial investment,
right?
No matter what. So that's great that they get that chance to do that.
Yeah.
Because as we all know that, you know, everybody's paying a mortgage one way or other. It'd be better if you just paid your own instead of your landlord's. So
yes.
That's very cool. Cool. And then I was going to ask about the restore. So what is the restore and what does it do? And tell us more about the restore.
Yes. A restore is where individuals or companies as well can donate building goods, housewares, household items, things like that. And then we turn around and sell them And then, so the profit that is generated then comes back into the mission of Habitat. And so individuals, once again, can call to schedule a pickup if maybe an item is too big to haul down to the restore, or they can drop off as well. We have a back door. We're open Wednesday through Saturday. So there's everything from lighting to furniture to shingles. Sometimes you kind of just have to come in on a regular basis because it's in one day and gone the next type of thing.
Cool. And is the stuff like new or used, or could be either one?
There is kind of a mix of both. So primarily it is secondhand goods. Sometimes you have individuals who have done a home renovation and maybe they have scrap material left over, or maybe they just redid their cabinets and so they're donating their previous cabinets to the restore. Sometimes we have offices that are updating their furniture and we'll get their old furniture. We do also sell new paint and paint products. So like your brushes and rollers and things like that. And then we have new rugs and a couple of flooring items as well that are new, but primarily it is a used goods store. And so that also is kind of the basis for our upcoming event, our Recycle Gala, which is our fabulously funky trash and show, where individuals are invited to create an outfit where at least one item has been purchased from the restore in that outfit. And then we celebrate that as a fashion show.
Yeah, I've heard about this, and it sounds really cool and fun and funky, and it looks like people have a lot of fun with it. Yeah,
it's a great time. This year it's on October 5th at the Olympic Southside Theater. We usually have about 20 entries into the fashion show. And so some of them are trained artists that come out for this, and some it's just a hobby, or maybe it's not their hobby and they're just trying it.
Yeah, just having some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Back to the restore real quick. So anybody can just go in there and buy things?
Yes, it is open to the public.
Okay, and where's it located? Did we already talk about that?
Yeah, it is located downtown Cedar Rapids at 350 6th Avenue Southeast. And so the affiliate side is also connected to our restore. We're just kind of on opposite ends of the building.
Okay, cool. So there's like the big open area for the store and then like the offices and stuff next to it, or something?
Yeah.
Is that where you are right now?
That's where I am. Yep. The restore is just on the other side of my wall.
Now, can people go into the place directly, or is it better to call or reach out via, like if they want to volunteer or interact in any way, is it just better to call and do that, or can they pop in?
If you wanted to volunteer, call ahead of time because we have a schedule of when volunteers can come in to help.
Yep.
So definitely call and we can work with our program manager to find a time that works for both the restore staff as well as your schedule to volunteer.
So most contact stuff should just be via phone or internet first. You guys have busy schedules and you're doing so. It's an office space. It's not a place like there's not a front desk person handling people walk-ins, right?
On the restore side, it is
right.
It's set up just like a store. And so people, you can come in and shop as you'd like to. But yes, if there is an interest in volunteering, a phone call would be better just to make sure we're all out and about. And so just to make sure you're getting that right person at the right time, calling is the best option.
Cool. Makes sense.
And that's the same with volunteering on our construction sites as well. We really want that upfront communication because we aren't just on the job site every day, and there's not volunteer spots every day for people. So just.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So we talked about bags tournament. We talked about the fashion show. Did we talk about a third one? What's the other third one?
So the third one is called Home Team Huddle. And that is in the February-ish time frame. And that is where we raffle off an NFL weekend getaway is what we call it. So 2 tickets to an NFL game of your choice that is in country and regular season.
Wow.
So, and then, it's pretty great. And then there's, depending on the vendor that year, there is a hotel voucher as well as an airfare voucher.
Wow. So you could get tickets, hotel, and airfare, basically a whole trip to go. And 2 tickets, you say?
Yep, you get 2 tickets. Mm-hmm. And we
Hawaii
work with
have a team?
the what?
I said, does Hawaii have a team?
I don't think so. And I don't know if we would we did talk about that language last year, if we need to say, like, how would we phrase in country, making sure that it's in the.
So you could say North America maybe, but what if Alaska has it?
Right.
That's funny. Wow, that is super cool. That's a neat deal. And so people just, is this an online thing or an in-person thing, or how does that work?
Yep. So due to Iowa gambling laws, it is an in-person transaction. And so we have individuals that will take the lead on a certain number of tickets. And so selling them to their coworkers, their families, their network, and then returning that cash or check back to the organization.
Okay, so it's not like one big party where they get together and it's more of like a Girl Scout cookies type situation. Or
we
whatever.
do try to have a couple of events though that are around it. Last year we had kind of a viewing party with Brick Alley in Marion, where individuals could stop by and purchase their tickets there that day. We also had a party with Hospoda in downtown. They already had an event kind of going on, and so they invited us to join them for that. So just another way to get out in the community.
Yeah, super cool. And then how much are the tickets for that?
Yes, so in the past, currently they're $10 a ticket.
Okay, cool.
And it's just local too. So I know
for the Cedar Valley
Habitat for Humanity. So it's not Habitat for Humanity International is putting this on. So your chances are local.
All right. So people that want it from Tama, they're out. Don't even come around here.
I guess if you know somebody, I don't know, you could buy them from them.
I'm just making up a place that was maybe not here. No, that's very cool. And you said, when is that? When is that?
So we typically run that in February, kind of around when the playoff season's about to start.
And then so it would be for the next year.
Mm-hmm. You would get your tickets then for that upcoming year.
Okay, cool. So it wouldn't be this year, it would be next year.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. Very good. So I think we covered all the 3 events. We covered what Habitat does in general. We covered how people can participate. Do you think of any other topics that we could cover about Habitat?
Yeah, one of our programs that I didn't touch on too much was our affordable repairs program.
Right.
And that's something that we really started last year. And we just saw this need to really have impactful change for people who already currently own their home. So prior to our current iteration of this, we had done something called a brush with kindness, which is really just exterior repairs, maybe some painting, maybe some front porch repairs, things like that. And then after the derecho happened in 2020, we were a partner in the patch program. And so really noticed that there were repairs outside of derecho that really needed to be addressed. And so the focus of our affordable repairs program is safety and accessibility. And so if an individual calls, again, we'll send them an application, make sure that they're meeting our need, ability to pay, willingness to partner standards. We'll do a project scope with the family as well, looking at what they're identifying as their need, as well as what's going to have the biggest impact for them, again, for safety and accessibility. And so repairs that have really been kind of more common have been, again, your porch and steps, so making sure they can enter into their home safely. Trip hazards inside the home, so maybe their flooring is getting old or something might be rotting, so repairs there. We've also done quite a few windows that might be broken, and so again, safety, making sure that they can secure their home at night. And then we've also had some doors that we've replaced as well. We had one individual that reached out to us after he had a medical emergency, and the emergency team had to break down his door to access him, and so he didn't have the financial means to replace that door. And so we were able to go in and help that individual secure his home again.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. So
Yeah.
more like a lot of it sounds like safety, accessibility needs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. So again, to start with that, you would just give a call, do the contact button, and then you'll be directed to one of the meetings where you go and talk, and then they would apply afterward, type of thing.
So for the repairs program, there is not an information meeting that is required. That is just a phone call. We can kind of talk through a couple of checklist items to make sure you would kind of initially qualify, and then we would send the application to you.
Okay, very cool. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of solutions and ways to help lots of people. And it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved in the community. It sounds like Habitat, and especially you guys, it sounds like the way that you have it set up is super impactful and also fun ways to be out in the community and help the community, and especially with the goal of or the privilege of home ownership, which is, to me, being a realtor, one of the things I'm most passionate about. So what a cool situation. And I'm thankful that you're out there doing it and that you're involved in helping so many people in the community.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time today too. And we do have a lot of fun here, but we also see the need in our community for home ownership. And again, that safety and accessible home ownership as well. And so we're just thankful that we can do our part in our community to find solutions for our families.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to share all this information with us. And also just there's people out there that might be watching the replay and that there's a Habitat for Humanity in your area. So it might not be the same as this, but go check out. So if you're a realtor and you want to be involved, check with your board, check with people there, and then also people that aren't realtors can be involved in these other things. And then everybody should maybe just check out the Restore and see if you can't find something cool there and useful at the Restore to use in your house. Yeah,
it's kind of so since we're so close to the Restore, we'll walk back and forth occasionally and do things. And I still have a little dresser that I bought because I just really liked it at the Restore, but I don't have a need for it yet. But I just didn't want to let it go, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like it's a Goodwill type situation, but just specifically for home uses for things like that. So I like it. I love it. I think it's so cool.
So another great opportunity to get involved with the organization is there are Women Build classes. And so we started those last spring, actually on International Women's Day was our first class. And we partner with Weiss Home Improvement to hold these. And it's just a way to engage with women in a fun and kind of collaborative environment to learn how to operate hand and power tools. And so that way they can break down that barrier of like, I'm not sure how I could be useful on a construction site. I don't know how to use these tools. And so although we say you don't need to have any skill to come out on our construction sites, there's still that barrier for individuals. So if we can teach them how to use tools in these classes, and then maybe they're more inclined to come and volunteer later. And so we hold those on the first Tuesday of every month. So we do a basic and advanced hand and power tool class. We've done kind of home maintenance classes. We've done make and take classes. And so we've built planters around Mother's Day. On the day after Labor Day, we're building a wine bottle holder that you can hang on your wall.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, we've done some fun winter art. So we built some snowflakes. We've done how to refinish items. And so it just covers a wide range of topics.
That is so cool. And where are those located?
Yep. So We partner with Weiss Home Improvement, and so they're at his facility. There is a small fee to participate, either for materials if we're building a project or just time as well. And so you can register online because we do have a maximum amount of individuals that can come per class because it's only a certain size of space. And also we've just realized how many individuals can interact with tools at a certain time. So trying to make sure that's very hands-on for the individuals and they're not just watching us with tools, they're getting to use them.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I help lead them since I have been on our construction side along with the owner of Weiss Home Improvement. And then we also have another previous AmeriCorps that typically comes out and helps as needed. And then we have some other kind of our regular volunteers that are women who will come out and help as needed as well.
Very good. Well, I commend everyone for doing that, and it can be intimidating if you've never done with that stuff. And the funny thing is, don't beat yourself up too much, ladies, because there's a lot of guys that can't do any of that either. And they don't know how to use it, and they're too intimidated to maybe use it too. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't done it yet, you never had somebody do that for you, then it makes sense. Because they're big, powerful tools that need to be respected, and you have to understand how to use them so that you can.
Even we had one individual that was purchasing their ticket, and I said, what made you want to come tonight? And she goes, I don't even know how to use a drill to hang a picture in my house, and I'd love to do that. And so just something simple as that, we can hopefully get you on the right path so that you can utilize these tools at home.
Well, that sounds super fun. So I hope that ladies out there, if you have an interest in doing that, here's a great way to probably meet some people too.
Yeah.
And go learn some basic skills to be able to do those little tasks on your own.
Yeah. And so those opportunities, the fastest way, we do have them on our website, cvhabitat.org/WB class. So for a women build class, or we also will post on our Facebook page as well when those classes are. And
thank you again for taking the time. And I look forward to, spending more time with you in the committee and doing these events and, just helping everybody grow together.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well.
Okay, sounds good, Miss Leslie. Well, thank you so much for coming today. For everybody out there, please remember that we have these shows, the Sharpen the Saw shows every Tuesday at 11 Central Time, 11 a.m. And then we also have Thursdays, our weekly national real estate news segments. Tara, who do we have next week this week on the, do we have anybody coming for the,
this week we have Patrick Adams coming on Thursday, and then next week, Tuesday is Barry Overton, and Thursday is Brent Conley.
Awesome. So right there we have Las Vegas, Denver, and Phoenix. So we got people coming from all over. It'll be fun. So everybody join us, please. What's that?
Busy schedule.
Always busy. I'm thankful to have so many friends that are willing to share information in all these different areas and regions, and collectively just give information and help people know more about all kinds of different realms. Like, this is amazing. Like, this has been one of my favorite ones because this isn't your normal real estate, just general talk. This is a cooler outside thing that people can be involved in, but it's also related. So I love it. Thank you so much for coming on again.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, have a great day, Leslie, and we'll be seeing you soon around the community.
Okay. Sounds good, Shay. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.